I talk to you all about our target market. Every business in the history forever has a target market. And these are the people they've identified to generally be the most interested in what we have to offer. Like, for instance, if we were selling golf clubs, who would we want to show them to? Golfers. You know what I mean? There's certain demographics for sure, but hey, golfers. In the Cutco world, I want to teach you guys how to sell golf clubs to golfers. And the more you lock into this concept, the easier the job gets. This is like hacking the system. It gets so easy when you do this the right way. So, do y'all think in the last 70 years we've pretty well figured out who generally buys Cutco? 100%. Guys, trust me, we have the data. We are a marketing company. We have the data. We know who's into this stuff, and we've lasered it into a science. So we call them MAC customers, M-A-C. If I never taught y'all this, you'd figure it out on your own, but, I mean, what's the point of training then? All right, so let's go through here real quick. Who do y'all think is more likely to be interested in Cutco? Someone single or someone married? Married. You got it. M stands for married. Write that off to the side. Married people buy Cutco more often, and when they do decide to buy, they generally spend more money. Now, does this mean that we hate single people? No. Yes, of course. No, okay, no, obviously not, guys. We love single people. Single people are great. Their money is just as good as a married person's money. Wouldn't y'all agree with that? Okay, but we also know for a fact that married people, statistically speaking, do buy more. Y'all follow me on there? Okay, now, the A stands for age. I'll help you with that one. A stands for age. Who do you think is more likely to be into Cutco? Someone under 30 or over 30? Over. So the ideal range is 30 to 60. So put age 30 to 60. Guys, it's that middle-aged time period where, number one, people tend to be a little more settled, a little more stable, and so they're able to afford more of the things they want. They tend to be cooking more, and so Cutco just tends to be more relevant to them. Okay? And last but not least, who do you think's more into Cutco? Someone in an apartment or in a house? House, yeah. C stands for casa, which means house, because we cheated. Yes, okay. Mac is way easier to say than like maha, like M-A-H, like ma. Yeah, exactly. Mac customers are where it's at. Guys, Macs freaking love Cutco. Macs will take you down at the knees because they want knives so bad. We did a study years and years and years ago, and it was a bunch of offices, and we tracked all these data points across all these different offices. Here's what they found. When we showed Mac customers, families who are married, 30 to 60, living in a home, 82% of them bought Cutco. 82%. That is a freakishly high percentage. When we showed non-Macs, so if they were just even two of the three, it's still a non-Mac. When we showed non-Macs, what's your best guess? What do you think? You know it's not 0%, of course, but you know it's not 80. 40 is a good guess. What do y'all think?
27.
27, 50?
27. Why 27?
10? Okay. 19%. 19%. Pretty damn close. Okay? Guys, you are 4 times more likely to make a sale to someone who's married, 30 to 60, living in a home than someone who's not. So guess who we like to spend our time with?
Max.
Max. Oh my gosh. Look how smart you guys are. All right. There's 4 types of customers. Write this in your notes. A plus, A, B, F. All right. Let's go through here real quick. An A, let's start with the A. Not the A plus, but the A. An A customer is a Mac. So off to the side, write Mac. Make a little note even to the side of that. Put layup. Like in basketball, like a layup. Okay. So an A equals a Mac, and it's a layup. I love playing basketball because God has a sense of humor. I mean, look at me. Okay? Like, I'm built for a lot of sports. I wrestled, I boxed, I did all that stuff, but basketball, I played football, of course, but basketball is actually my favorite sport to play. I love it. My son, Noah, he's 7 years old. When I started teaching him how to play basketball, imagine as a 5-year-old if I'd put him at the half-court line and was like, okay, shoot it. And he's like, okay? Guys, we could do that for 3 hours. I could encourage him, I could yell at him, I could motivate him, I could do anything. Is a 5-year-old ever going to hit a half-court shot? No, of course not. Absolutely not. It's unreasonable. It's unfair. You don't follow me on that? So we didn't do that. I had him shoot layups. It's a high percentage shot. It's fewer variables. It's right under the basket, and he has a better chance for success. Now, here's the cool thing that happens. As he shot enough layups, what started to happen is his skill and his confidence increased. Okay? So skill and what else? Confidence. Bingo. Okay, so that's why early on we try to just shoot layups if we can. We want you guys to focus on Macs because by doing enough Mac demos, your skill and your increases and you'll have more success further away from the basket. Y'all kind of follow the metaphor there? So it's a B customer. Okay, write this down. A B is 2 out of 3. Okay, so a B customer is someone who's 2 out of the 3. This would be like a 3-point shot in basketball. Now, can you have good success shooting 3-point shots? Of course you can. You can have great success. But even for the best, it's still a lower percentage than a layup, and it always will be. Obviously, not all 3-point shots are created equal, so there's a big difference when we think of like a B customer between someone like, let's say your aunt is 47 years old, lives in a really cool house like out in Richardson, and just isn't married. Just decided not to get married. That's okay, guys. That would be like a really solid B type customer. You with me on that? So yes, it's still a lower percentage, but that's a more open shot than, let's say, someone that's like living in an apartment and they're married, but they're paycheck to paycheck and just not in a great spot. You with me on that? So maybe they're 2 of the 3 type thing, but they're not quite there. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. This is not a value judgment. This is business and statistics. Okay? You with me on that? Yes or no? Business and statistics. All right. So that's a B customer. It's a 3-point shot. So what's an F? All right, write this down. If it's 1 or 0, that's an F. And that is a half court shot. The odds are not ever in your favor. Okay, now if you shoot enough half court shots, are you eventually going to hit some? Yeah, you probably will. You probably will. But you're going to miss a lot more than you hit, that's for sure. Now, I mentioned before, this is not a value judgment. So please don't get wrong on this. Don't go sideways on me. Okay, just because your aunt isn't married with 2.4 kids, a white picket fence, and a dog named Sparky doesn't mean she's not living her best life. All we're talking about is whether she is or isn't more likely to invest in Cutco. I was covering this concept with one of the offices in Fort Worth a while back, and there was this guy, and God love him, I could just tell he wasn't with me on the journey, you know? And he wasn't being disrespectful or anything like that. He wasn't being disruptive, but I could just tell he wasn't kind of with me. So I asked him, I was like, hey man, you know, where are you at? Like where are you at right now? And he kind of goes, well, I mean, you know, you never know, like that F, sometimes every 0 could be a hero, and he's just like, doing this stuff, and I was like, what are you even talking about? I was like, dude, I have the numbers, like F, like that's like 3%. I mean, like your conversion rate is like a bag of nothing. You may as well just like stab yourself in the hand with a knife, like you're gonna get about the same. But he kind of kept going, and it finally clicked, and I was just missing, you know, I wasn't with him on the journey, but he was taking like business and statistics, like law of large numbers, and like channeling this into the personage of one human being. Y'all with me on that? And it finally clicked. I went, oh, hang on a minute. I'm sorry, man. We're having different conversations. I go, let me guess, your mom is an F. Okay? And he's like, my mom's not an F. My mom's amazing. And my mom could beat up your mom. And I don't even know. All right? He probably didn't literally say my mom could beat up your mom. And I go, let me guess, dude. I bet your mom is like a super hardworking lady. And probably she, you know, maybe she has multiple jobs. She lives in an apartment. Really was working hard to support you guys. And so you're kind of like feeling the effects of that, like me talking down about her. I go, am I close? And he goes, yeah, my mom's an F. I was like, all right, cool, dude. I went, growing up, we lived in an apartment, and my mom worked 3 jobs as a single mom for a chunk of my life. My mom was an F, too. I go, that doesn't mean she's not a badass person. I go, that means she's probably an awesome person. All it means is that she's probably a great person for Cutco, but just not yet. Y'all follow me on that? Timing. Do y'all think when my mom was working 3 jobs that she was really looking at investing in nice things for the house at that point? No, guys, she was paying down debt and getting into a house. Now, eventually my mom got to a point where she built up a business, sold it for quite a bit of money, is doing amazing for herself, and she's got every freaking thing Cutco makes. So sometimes it's a great person, it's just not always the right time. Y'all follow me on that? I go, so dude, this is not a value judgment. Someone's not better or worse if they're a Mac or a non-Mac. This is just has to do with business and statistics. I went, but let me give you one other little tip. And I go, are you with me on that? He goes, yeah, no, that makes total sense. You're absolutely right. I go, but let me give you an extra tip. And he goes, what's that? I went, do a demo for your mom. Cool? And he's like, oh, like I can? I was like, yeah, because she's your mom. Like, how weird would that be? It's like, mom, I got this awesome job. I'm really excited about it, but I can't show you. It's a secret. That's the sketchiest thing I've ever heard in my life, okay? All of you should do a demo for your parents. Is everyone with me on that? Oh my God, you all got a demo. That was easy. I want you to do a demo for your mom and dad, obviously. But outside of that, we do want you to focus as close as you can to stay around the basket. You with me on that? Now, I will say this, there's gonna be those people, everyone has that person that's an exception on the edge. Just try not to focus on the exceptions when you're new. But if it works for you, it works for me. So when in doubt, we just have the Ask Brian rule. And what's the Ask Brian rule? If you're not sure if you should see them right away, what should you do? Ask Brian. You got it. Like for instance, we had someone that went through training, Jazz, okay, here pretty recently. And he had a family member that wasn't quite a Mac, but he was excited to see him. And I said, hey man, I'm excited too, but I don't want you to waste that potential interaction. I don't want you to waste that demo by rushing it. I go, here's what we're gonna do. I want you to go shoot like 10 layups first. Let's go do some Mac demos first, and then go see them. So I'm not saying don't see them. I'm just saying let's see them on, I don't know, day 4 instead of day 1. That's basically it. You with me on that? So we did do that, and by the way, when he went and saw them, he went and he actually sold a homemaker set. And it was really exciting. He sold it just the other day. Okay, I guarantee you, had he rushed into that and done that as his very first demo, he wouldn't have got that same result. Y'all with me on that? Okay, so I think you guys get that. So what's an A+? All right, an A+, write this down in your notes. We call that a Big Mac. I know, see what we did there? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Guys, a Big Mac, don't make it hard. A Big Mac is just a Mac that has the resources where it's never going to be about money for them. It's just going to be about, do I want to buy some knives? That's basically it. Okay? So a Big Mac is a Mac with a 6-figure income. Okay? A Big Mac is a Mac where you give the ball to a LeBron and you go, here, you do it for me. Big Macs are awesome, that's for sure, and they can be a really huge part in your success story. Now, I do want to take a quick second though, because when we talk about a six-figure income nowadays, I think we have a weird relationship with money. In fact, I don't think it, I know it. People have a weird relationship to money nowadays because we tend to judge people just based on how flashy they are. Y'all follow me on that? And not actually like where they are in their life. So when we talk about a Big Mac, you guys may or may not feel like you know a lot of people in that Big Mac range, but I'm going to tell you straight away, you guys all do. Okay? In fact, everyone does. All right? Everyone does. They just don't always know it. One of my older brothers is a produce manager at Target. A sister is a school teacher at South Garland High School. They live in a small house out in Garland. They drive a used Toyota Camry and a used Honda Corolla, and they're absolutely Big Macs. By every possible standard, they're Big Macs. But you don't think about a guy who works at Target and a school teacher as a six-figure income. Well, guys, he makes $49,000 at Target. She makes $56,000 at South Garland. And together, that's $100,000. You follow me on that? But you don't look at that. You don't think about that as like, oh, that's a Big Mac, dude. They totally could get anything they want. Well, of course they can get anything they want. You'll follow me on that? So here's the deal. There's certain things that are easy. Anyone you know that's a doctor, lawyer, engineer, CEO, that sort of stuff, of course they're Big Macs. People you know that are, driving, for the most part, BMWs and Lexus, and you can kind of shorthand it with cars. That's an easy thing, too. But even that, guys, I drive a BMW. I love my BMW. I've got just a 3 Series, but I love it. It's what I wanted. I paid $43,000 for my car, $45,000. My aunt got a Suburban around the same time, and she got a Suburban, and it cost her $49,000. So her Suburban cost more than my Beamer did. You follow me on that? So that's why I said don't get too trapped up in stuff like that. Because the reality is you don't know, but when given the chance to see Big Macs, you never want to wait. All right, write this down. Why Big Macs? You're never allowed to wait to go see your Big Macs. You got to go see them right away. Nothing would make me happier. Nothing would make me happier than if Isabella left training tomorrow and the first training appointment she did was with the biggest Mac she'll ever see her entire Cutco career. She's not even sure which knife to cut the rope with yet. All right? Like, she can't even spell Cutco. All right? Is that with a K or a C? Okay, of course. I'm just picking on you. All right? But nothing would make me happier if she was like, oh, Mom and Dad, I can't wait to see you. I'll see you guys tonight. I'm going to go do this one. Okay? Because there's so many benefits that come with seeing those Big Macs early on that any potential downside, it dwarfs it. It's not even close. Now, when I was a new rep, I made the mistake a lot of people make. And they say, oh, I want to wait to go see those best Macs until I get really, really good at the job. Then I'll do way better and I'll get better results. Y'all with me on that? I didn't think that's not an irrational perspective, but I got to tell you, there's a couple key reasons why it never works in your favor when you do that. So there's 4 reasons why you want to see Big Macs right away. Let's write this in our notes real quick. Number 1, more likely to get a big sale. Now, just because someone has money doesn't mean they're going to buy a bunch of stuff, but Cutco's a great product. And when you show a great product to people that have those resources, cool, great things can happen. Channy Jensen sold an Ultimate set on her very first demo, called me 12 times. Okay, kid you not, 12 times. But here's the deal, guys. Channy went and sold, all told, they added a bunch of stuff on. It was like a $2,500 sale. Guys, imagine getting almost 2 promotions on your first appointment. What did that do to her confidence? You with me on that? Sky high. What did that do for her expectation? All right? So don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean if someone doesn't buy big or even buy anything on their first demo, it doesn't mean like someone's in a bad spot, but their confidence and the expectations, it's what comes from that. Because, guys, I'm excited she got that sale. Like, it's cool she got that sale. But, guys, we're going to be fine either way. Are y'all with me on that? We sold $1 million worth of Cutco last year. We sold $1 million on our team. I got a Rolex for it. It was cool. Okay? Guys, we're not plus or minus $2,000 from anyone. You follow me on that? So I don't mean to be dismissive. I was very proud of Channy. I appreciate her hard work, and I'm glad she got those good results. But at the end of the day, I don't really care what happens plus or minus 1 demo. It ain't that big a deal to me. We're going to be fine either way. There's no pressure on her. But it's what it did for her. That's what was exciting. It's more likely they'll buy big. Number 2, write this down. You ever heard this expression, birds of a feather flock together? Okay? Big Macs send you to other Big Macs is the idea. Big Macs send you to other Big Macs. Guys, even if you did a demo for that really, really Big Mac and they decided Cutco wasn't just the bee's knees, it wasn't right for them, that's all right. Most people find stuff they like. Maybe they didn't. That's okay. Guys, when you go see that Big Mac, guess who they send you on to see? Just money customers. They're Big Macs. And so that's why it's so important that you don't wait. Landon Tujak, his very first day on the job, he had this one super Big Mac he was excited about. And he did a great job. I said, see him right away, and he did. And this was one of his dad's old fraternity buddies, and they made it big. And they had a private plane. Now, there's certain things you can shorthand. There's like house money, there's like boat money, there's like lake house money, and there's plane money. I mean, I've got some friends that have planes. They cost more to maintain in a year than my house costs. okay, which is crazy to think about. He goes, hey man, the reality is, he goes, I don't know if they'll want Cutco or not. All I know is they're super nice people, and if they did decide they wanted it, they could buy the book 20 times over. It wouldn't make a difference. I was like, cool man, give it a shot. Just go see him and see what happens. Now, here's the funny part to the story. Not funny to Landon, funny to Brian, because I love, God has a sense of humor. These super nice people had just finished a $100,000+ kitchen remodel. It's expensive, all right? And about 1 week before Landon had got there, it was more like 5 days before, the wife was sitting there, and they're in their beautiful new kitchen. And she was like, oh my God, I love this. This is our dream house. This is our dream kitchen. How great is this? We worked our whole life. We struggled, and here we are. And she goes, but man, these crappy knives we got as a wedding gift like 20 years ago. We just added more crappy knives to it. Why didn't we ever get anything better than that? And he's like, I don't know, why didn't? She goes, yeah, it seems like a shame. We got this nice kitchen, this dumpy stuff here. And she goes, you know what? We should go to Williams-Sonoma. We should get us something a little bit better. And he goes, yeah, let's do that. Oh, I'm telling you. So here's the deal, guys. We'll talk about the other brands of knives here in just a beat. But to give you an idea, guys, getting good stuff for the home is expensive. Getting stuff for the home doesn't cost hundreds, it costs thousands. You with me on that? I mean, that's just normal, y'all. And so they bought a set of Shun. It's the big Japanese brand. And to get a set of Shun about the size of our homemaker set, just for perspective, it's almost $3,000. Okay, like the normal price on it goes for about $4,000, and you'll find on sale Williams-Sonoma has it nowadays for about $2,800. So they spent $3,000 on knives. But wait, there's more. They also bought a full set of all-clad cookware. Cookware is way more expensive. Cookware was almost $5,000. And then they bought another $1,000 or something of other stuff. They spent nearly $11,000 5 days before Landon got there. So what did they buy from Landon? Goose egg. Nothing. Not a thing. Now, why is this funny? Well, it's funny because originally Landon was supposed to go through training 1 week earlier. Oh, yeah, y'all doing the math. He kicked training back a week so he could go back to U of A. That's where he goes to school for a fraternity party. And he called me. He's dying. He's like, God is punishing me. God is punishing me for partying. And I'm dying laughing. Because don't get me wrong, it'd be cool for Landon to get that sale. But hey, I'm not plus or minus any one demo. I'm not worried about it. And he's just like, ah. And I was like, hey, you made $15. Way to go. And he's like, screw you, man. All right, he's all worked up. And I go, hey, man, that's okay. I go, I'm so proud of you. I said, go just see the biggest Mac you can. And you did. I'm proud of you. And I go, how many recommendations did you get? And he goes, well, I got 8. I guess that was cool. And I just start dying laughing. I was like, dude, you got 8. I went, cool, man. How many of those people do you think own a plane? And he goes, well, I know 4 of them share a hangar space. ... And I go, cool. So you mean you knew one person in your whole life in Sphere who owned a plane, and you just met 4 more, or you're introduced to 4 more? And he sits there and he goes, I think I was. And I go, cool. How do they know the other people? And he goes, well, they're all members of the same country club. It's Vaquero. It's when I was out towards Fort Worth. And I went, dude, I know Vaquero. Okay? I go, I know Vaquero. And I literally Google it. I go, it's $200,000 to join. And Landon just sits there and he goes, holy crap. I was like, dude, congrats. Way to go, man. Way to go on that no-sell. That no-sell was the single best use of your time you could have possibly done. There's nothing you'd have done in the last hour that would have a more productive, direction on your fast start in your summer with us than that no-sell. Because, guys, don't get me wrong. Would it have been even cooler to get the big sale and all those racks? Yeah, of course it would have. But he sold so much Cutco to those people, and those people put him like, man, he wrecked shop in Vaquero. It was hilarious that summer. All right? And so the point is, even if they decide Cutco's not right for them, is that okay? Of course it's okay, guys. That's why you have a base pay. Don't worry about it. You still can have great things come from it. All right, these last 2 we'll go through really quick. Number 3, write this down. If you wait, someone else will see them. Real estate. If you wait, someone else will see them. We love to build our team from within. It's one of the most fun things about the job to me. So a lot of people on the team have friends on the team. Like Bailey and Corday have known each other forever. So we have a lot of people on the team that have friends on the team. It's way more fun that way. I love that. All right, but we had something where we'll call them Rep A and Rep B. All right, Rep A started 3 weeks before Rep B on our team. Okay, Rep B, his first day, he leaves training, second day of training, his first training appointment is to Rep A's girlfriend's parents. Now, Rep A had been here 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And by the way, he sells them $1,500 worth of Cutco. Now, the funny part to me was Rep A, his friend called me like he was telling on him. And he's just like, dude, it's like not cool. And what the hell, man? And bro code. Bro code. I was like, you just said bro code to your boss? What's wrong with you, man? Okay? And I go, how would you not see them? I was like, hell, half the time I talk to you, you're at your girlfriend's house. How in the world just mathematically could it not have come up? And he goes, well, I mean, I was going to see him eventually. I sat there and I went, oh, I get it. You're a wuss. And he's like, I mean, yeah, I'm a wuss with them. Okay. Guys, those people you hesitate on, it's just nature hates a vacuum. I already told you at the state fair, guys, we sell almost $1 million every single year. Everyone's going to see Cutco eventually. And it's okay if they decide it's not right for them. I'm not worried about that. But we definitely want them all to get a chance to see it and make that decision for themselves. You with me on that? And better if it gets a chance to be with you versus with someone else. All right? And then here's the last thing. The fourth reason why we never wait to see Big Macs is this. It puts you at the highest level. Just write that down. Puts you at the highest level. There's a comfort that comes through experience and repetition. It's just like taking those shots at the ball. The more shots you take, it increases your skill and it increases your confidence. Those are the two things, skill and confidence. Even if they decide not to buy big, and even if they didn't give a bunch of recommendations, and even if no one was ever going to sell them Cutco, I'm still proud of you for seeing those people, because getting those rotations with the best possible quality prospects you can, it makes you well prepared for the next time. You know, with me on that? And sometimes it's not what happens externally, it's how it prepares you better for the next one. That's why it's a slam dunk. Never wait on Big Macs. If you look on the board, it says formula for your first promotion. Here's the last thing, and then we'll go back to the demo. Okay, I want you to put this in your notes. Up there it says 10-5-2-1. 10-5-2-1. Formula for your first promotion. I can tell you, since we've started tracking this for over a year, well over a year now, every single person, 100% of the people I've trained with zero exceptions that follow this, okay, that 10-5-2-1, every single person has at a minimum gotten their first promotion. Zero exceptions. If you follow this, I guarantee you'll hit your first promotion. Now, if eventually the universe is going to spit someone out where they actually did it and they don't get that first promo, if that's you, that's not a bad thing. I'll give you a high five and a hug and I'll take you out to sushi. I'll be like, had to be someone, glad it was you. Now you'll go get your promo the next one. You with me on that? Okay, but I can just tell you the evidence is so overwhelming. So 10-5-2-1, write this down. And this is within your first 3 days, all right, is the whole goal. 10-5-2-1 your first 3 days. All right, the 10 is 10 appointments in your first 3 days. So 10 demos. Now, what does that actually look like? Well, it's about 3 a day. How long does a demo take? 45 minutes to an hour. So really, that's a part-time job. You with me on that? Now, don't get me wrong. Not everyone on the team does 3 demos every day, all the time, 7 days a week. You with me on that? Some people do 5 one day and 0 the next 2 days. You know, that's up to you, and we'll help y'all work on your schedule. But when you're new, doing the work and getting that 3 a day average, 3 a day to double your pay. So again, the 10 is 10 demos your first couple days. All right, the 5, write this down. Best 5 focus. Best 5 focus. You want to laser in on who are the best 5 people you could potentially see early on. Now, I will tell you this. Sometimes the best 5 aren't always your closest 5. All right? And so, in fact, sometimes they're totally different. That's okay. You can still see the closest 5, because how many demos are we shooting for? Right? So let's say like for me, my mom and dad weren't necessarily my best 5, but I definitely wanted to show them. You with me on that? So of course I showed my mom and dad. Of course I did, as just like all y'all should. 1 demo down. But one of my dad's colleagues, who was a nice guy, but just lived in a nice house, and they were cool people, they were more my best 5. You with me on that? Okay? Write this off to the side. Confidence versus comfort. Confidence versus comfort. Your first early training appointments, guys, they're not just for your comfort. Like, we could just sit here practicing with each other all the time if I only wanted to be comfortable. It's more about building your confidence. Can you all kind of relate to that? Like, I want you to get the experience that builds confidence. And that comes from actually getting those rotations. Guys, I'm not worried about what you do or you don't sell. You're all going to sell plenty of knives this summer. Congratulations, I spoiled the ending for you. You're going to sell plenty of knives and make plenty of money. So whatever happens early on, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on yourself. But still putting yourself in the right position for success makes a huge difference. So I don't want you to just lay in on like who's the easiest. Like, sure, do that too, but focusing on who would be my best 5 I'd be the most excited about. Y'all with me on that? Now, is there a Cutco crystal ball? I wish there was, where I could just look at it and I could like look at it with Jack and be like, oh, homemaker, $1,000 order. Yeah, 2 knives, but I'd see him. Ooh, that's a no-sell. No, it doesn't work that way, guys. That's why we just do the best we can for everyone we see. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Focusing on the Big Macs, all right? And then what is the 2-1? All right, write these down. The 2 is 2 demos your first day. 2 demos your first day. And then the 1, just to make it easy, first demo guaranteed sale. Let me unpack those for you. Now, obviously, if you're shooting for 10 demos in your first few days, that averages to about 3 a day. You with me on that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but that's an average. You know what I mean? That's an average. Like, you may have a day where you're super wide open and you could do like 4 or 5 or 6, but you may have other days you're busy and you can only do 1 or 2. That's normal. That's one of the reasons why we love this job so much, is it gives us more control over that. You with me on that? So that being said, though, your very first day, we want to make sure that you have at least 2 demos, just so that way you can use what you've learned, okay? Because there's nothing more frustrating than when you do your first demo and you go out there and you get like a really solid sale, but then all of a sudden you're like, I have all this good energy and I have nothing to do with it. You'll follow me on that? Or the alternative, let's say you go out there and you get a no sale, but like you really learned a lot and you're like, okay, wait, but now I'm confident. I want to go get another rotation in. Are you with me on that? That's why the two matters. And then first demo guaranteed sale. Like I said, your first few days, it's all about confidence much more than just comfort. I want you to be outside your comfort zone because that's where all the cool stuff in life happens anyway. I want you to stretch yourself just a little bit. All right. So when it comes down to that first demo, now of course there's no Cutco crystal ball. We don't literally know, guaranteed is hyperbole, obviously. But I would definitely position yourself. Who was that person in your interview? Like that you immediately was like, oh my God, Aunt Karen would die for this stuff. You with me on that? Maybe it's your mom and dad. Maybe it's like that neighbor that loves to barbecue. You know what I'm saying? But like, who's that person that immediately jumped out to you? Do your best, try and see them first. You with me on that? So here's what I want you to do. Right below that, and this is for you, this is not for me. I want you to write down who do you think would be the best 5 people that you could possibly see. Who'd be your best 5? Just go with your gut, guys. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, and you can change it. You might do your best 5 now, and trust me, every one of you will think of 8 people later where you're like, oh, hell, why didn't I have them on there? Yeah, with me on that? So, like, don't put all the weight of the world on your shoulders. Just jot down, like, who do you think offhand? And again, don't confuse best 5 for just the easiest 5. My easiest 5 would have included my 85-year-old grandmother. With me on that? Well, I love my grandma. Everything's comfortable with grandma. And by the way, she loved Cutco. She bought a turning fork. She bought 1 fork. So I did see her my first weekend, though, and is that okay? Yes, it is. Of course it's okay. But I made sure I didn't replace my best 5 with that. Cool? So I want everyone to get up to 5. Even if you change it later, that's okay. Still get up to 5 because it'll help you out a lot when you're really kind of brainstorming. By the way, how excited y'all think Corday was when he sold $1,500 on his first demo? How do you think that call to me went afterwards? The best part about the call was he already had calculated how much money he made. That was my favorite part. I made $175 in that demo. I'm a money-motivated person, y'all. I'm not greedy. I'm not shallow, but, like, I'm an adult. I have a house. I have kids. I have a wife. I have a mortgage. And money allows me to travel. Money allows me to donate to really cool causes. Money allows me to provide for my family. Money allows me to not stress about how to pay this bill and instead just how to really just dominate and try and live a great life. So I'm definitely money-motivated. You may not be. That's okay. I honor whatever your it is, whatever gets you going. Maybe it's competition, recognition, advancement. But I'm definitely money-motivated. So to this day, there's no such thing as me getting like going out of a demo, being like, I made $500 and not having a bounce in my step. It's the greatest feeling in the world. It really is cool. All right, so here's what we're going to do then.